Okay, everybody, I want to make some admissions to you. I realize this is like getting a drink from a fire hose. I know that. And I realize that each section could be a whole hour or more. So we know that too. But the objective is to give you this in a way you can get it clear, Christ-centered, transferable, and then make it yours. For example, the fourfold praise, that's what I use. Develop your own. And here's what the human heart will do. I went through this with my fourfold praise. Okay, I only spent a minute on the fourfold praise. Oh, I'm sorry, Lord. Get a break. I just want your heart, son. I didn't tell you you have to go through these 4 steps. You came up with that. I did. To just get your heart right. That's what I want. And if you use the tool for 30 seconds, fine. If it's 15 minutes, fine. I see your heart. Do you love me? And those are just ways to fuel that fire. So we can get enslaved to tools and methods. God looks at the heart. And when you study the life of Christ, isn't it amazing how gracious He is? I've always been blown away by the thief on the cross. How much theology did that dude have? And all he said, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Today, you're in. Wow. God is so gracious. He didn't say, you haven't been baptized, you haven't gone through a catechism, you got to join the church. None of that. I see your heart. That's the God we worship. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to give you an overview of the entire Bible to see a major theme that most Christians miss. What we're going to go through is the bottom line essence of what you're going to get from perspective. So, we have 9 passages, and we're going to assign passages to your team. And here's what we're going to ask you to do with your passage. Read it, and then answer this question. God's mission is in the passage. What's the extent of His mission? Who is He trying to reach? What's the extent? And people God works through. Who is He working through to fulfill the extent of His mission? Okay, so you know what to do. Look up your verse, answer the question, extent, and the people God works through. Okay, so look what we've done. We started in Genesis, we walked all the way to Revelation, and it's very, very clear what you see. God is on a mission, and He's going after all peoples, and He's working through His people. So guess what that means? If you're a believer in Christ, you are on first string. And nobody ever comes into your life by accident. Not a person. And you engage with people, you represent Christ. You bring His presence. And God longs to work through you. And that's why we call this such an adventure. There's not a day in your life you can't wake up and say, God, what are we doing today? See this beautiful little stand? This was made by Ralph James, my adopted dad. He's now in heaven. He made it to 94. And when about 25 years ago, his wife was dying of cancer, and I was the only other person she would let come into their house. So I'd go visit with Ralph and his wife on her deathbed. And on their deathbed, they said, we want to adopt you as our son. And so when she died, Ralph became dad. And about 6 months after she was dead, he came to me and he said, "Guess what, son? You've got a free staff member for the rest of my life. Tell me what to do." And he used to run our tape ministry, our radio ministry. When we built this facility, he oversaw that. He helped me with my own house. We gutted it and put it back together in 5 weeks. And he was my hero. And he made this. All that to say, here's how Ralph woke up every day. This was his mini fourfold praise. Sit on the side of the bed. "Lord, I'm completely yours. What are we doing today?" I love that. That's what this is about. Okay. Now, we're going to go to the 4 fields. Look on page 11. And I want you to look at the 4 boxes, and the 4 fields is simply a way to communicate how God works through His people and what our job description actually looks like in practical ways, since we are called to make disciples who love God and people above all else. 4 fields is a tool that is used all over the world with missionaries. It started with the Southern Baptists, now it's across denominational lines. And all over the world today, there are more Muslims coming to Christ than any other time in history. In the third world, there are great movements of the gospel that'll take your breath away. I've already told you about the Kalal people in India, 450 house churches. Their goal is 1 church for every member of Cherrydale Baptist. And they're going to reach it and exceed it. Rapid multiplication. We've seen it 5 generations in, they're very, very healthy. It's all the 4-fold, 4-field mindset and method, which I'm going to teach you. And I believe if you understand this, you'll see your life in a new light. You'll get a whole fresh new motivation.